जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदना ब्रजजनरंजना
यशोदानंदना ब्रजजनरंजना
यशोदानंदना ब्रजजनरंजना
यशोदानंदना ब्रजजनरंजना
यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा
So Hare Krishna everyone. First we begin with the pranam prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथावितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखाविशंश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So the verse I'm going to recite and explain is Bhagavad-Gita 4.3 is, so let's you can repeat after me. स एवं मया तेद्या योग प्रोक्ता पुरातना भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हेतद् उत्तमम्. Prabhu ji can recite. स एवं मया तेद्या योग प्रोक्ता पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हेतद् उत्तमम्. Mataji. स एवायं मया तेद्या योग प्रोक्ता पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हेतद् उत्तमम्. Anyone else? स एवायं मया तेद्या योग प्रोक्ता पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हेतद् उत्तमम्. Word to word translation. Sa the same. Eva certainly. Ayam this. Maya by me. Te unto you. Adya today. Yoga the science of yoga. Prokta spoken. Puratana very old. Bhakta devotee. Asi you are. Me my. Sakha friend. Cha also. Iti therefore. Rahasyam mystery. He certainly. Etat this. Uttamam transcendental. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and therefore can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. The purport: there are two classes of men, namely the devotee and the demon. The Lord selected Arjuna as a recipient of this great science owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. There are a number of editions of this great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees, and some of them have the commentaries by the demons. Commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of a demon is useless. Arjun accepts Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following in the footsteps of Arjuna is a real devotional service to the cause of this great science. The demoniac, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instructions. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. So I'll repeat the verse again, the translation, that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So this verse sounds very, very simple, but it has deep meaning to this verse. So let's unpack step by step. So the chapter, name of the chapter is Transcendental Knowledge. Transcendental knowledge is actually the knowledge of the Vedas, and it comes from the Lord Himself. We are conditioned souls here. We basically have 4 defects. In the Ishopanishad, in the invocation verse, there is a mention of there are 4 defects of the conditioned soul. The abbreviation, how I remember, is ICIC, not ICICI Bank, okay? Indians who are here, they may understand that what do I mean. And so, I in the means illusion. C stands for committing mistakes. I again stands for imperfect senses. And C is cheating others. So this is the 4 defects what the conditioned soul has. Now, Prabhupada gave a very good example about if you want to go to a medical school, if you want to become a doctor. Basically, what you will do is you will go to a medical college from a recognized university. And get the certification, get the degree. But instead of sitting at home and reading medical books will not make you a doctor. Okay? So similarly, the transcendental knowledge also, it has to be learned through the spiritual master, who is from the disciplic succession. So it is not that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-Gita the first time, but he spoke the Bhagavad-Gita millions of years ago as well. And last week Sunday feast, His Grace Sankarshan Prabhu, he had given a verse explanation in 4.1, where he mentioned about Krishna speaking the imperishable science to sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan speaking to Manu, and Manu speaking to Ikshvaku. And there is a verse, the verse says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaha Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manu Ikshvakave Bravit. So later in 4.2, what Krishna says is, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu Sakalena Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. That disciplic succession was lost over a period of time. And then Krishna again has to speak the Bhagavad Gita again to Arjuna. So in this new chain, Arjuna is the first candidate to speak the Bhagavad Gita. And now if we see Arjuna, basically there is something called Varna Ashrama. Varna Ashrama means 4 divisions of human society and 4 classes. 4 divisions of human society is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. 4 classes is Brahmachari, Grihastha, Sannyasa, Vanaprastha. So Arjuna was not a Brahmana. Arjuna was a Kshatriya. Arjuna was not a sannyasi, so he was a Grihastha. So it's a good news for all of us that Grihastha people can. But it is not like it is Bhagavad Gita can only be understood by Grihastha ashram. So that is one thing. But the other qualification was Bhakto Sime Sakhacheti. More, very, very important. He was a Bhakta. He was a devotee of the Lord. And he was a friend of the Lord. So just a mundane example. If you want, like you go to a job interview, what do you see mainly, like when on the interviewer side? You will first know his name, you will know his position, what he is working as, that's all. Nothing else you will know about him. But when you are hired in the company, then you understand, then you know to get to know closely about that person. What are the likes, dislikes, okay, and about the company assets, everything you got to know. So similarly, the same thing. Another example that comes in my mind is about marriage. Before getting married, you see the good side of the person. But after getting married, there is a other mystery you is revealed. It is not transcendental though. Right? So here the same thing is about transcendental knowledge. That anyone can buy a book. You can buy Bhagavad-Gita from Amazon or wherever and read the book. But everyone cannot penetrate into the mystery of the science. Only a devotee, a bhakta, a friend can understand the science. So, coming to what does it mean to be a devotee? In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the nectar of devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami says that devotional life begins with Shraddha or faith. Now, Shraddha or faith means firm belief, firm conviction, Vishwas. That is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And if we see in general in our mundane life also, we all have faith somewhere or other. It is not something we have to get it, Like if you go, you all must have experienced this, you go to India flights or wherever, and you don't know the airlines company. You don't know the pilot also. But you have faith that you will land in a proper destination, safely. And imagine like how, if at all you don't have faith, what will be your condition in the flight throughout? You will be so much of anxiety, right? You will not sleep, always restless. Similarly, when you get sick also, you go to the doctor, and have conviction that, okay, the doctor will, cure you. And another thing is the parents have so much of faith on their children. And children also have so much of faith on their parents that, they are always there for protecting you. And teachers, like in your elementary school, you all must have, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, the teacher says. I don't think so. I never questioned to why or, this thing. I had faith in my teacher. The teacher is going to explain me. Whatever she's teaching me, it's correct. I had faith. And the last one, like this is an adventure activity in skydiving. I don't know how many of you have experienced this. But not only there is faith, but it is more surrender here. So, moving further to, there are 2 conditions to get this transcendental knowledge. What Arjuna had actually. Arjuna understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And everything what Krishna spoke is true. Arjun, like there, if you read Bhagavad-Gita, there is so much conversation going on between Arjun and Krishna. But Arjun comes to a point in Bhagavad-Gita 10.14. He says that Krishna, whatever, I totally accept as a truth. All that you have told me. He mentions all. It does not mean, okay, I accept only this part, but whichever is comfortable and, other part I'm not going to do that. He accepted everything. That was firm conviction of Arjuna. It was not partial acceptance. There are some people in the world, they say that, okay, Krishna explained the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, but we don't accept Krishna dancing with the gopis. Because they don't understand the transcendental mystery. So, then what happens? What is the result when we understand Krishna? Krishna himself says, Yoginam api sarvesham. Among all the yogis, he who worships Krishna with faith and devotion is the highest of all. Faith and devotion is more important. And what is the result? What is the end point is he will reveal himself. He will show us the reality. So that's so how we all have faith now. Now how do we increase our faith? preliminary faith. Even when you read the Bhagavad-Gita also carefully, in the introduction part, it is mentioned very, very clearly that at least theoretically have the faith, preliminary faith, a little bit of faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is very, very clearly written. So we need to accept that. And what will happen now? How do we increase our faith? There are so many steps. Like Prabhupada's mercy, he has given us 9 processes of devotional service, and there are some steps here. First of all, it begins with Shraddha, the devotional service. Then you associate with people who have faith. Once you associate with people, then comes the practical important thing. Practical application is very important. And once you start doing that practical, performing devotional service, then you have decreased of attachment, and then there is steadiness, then there is a taste, then there is attachment for Krishna, then there is love for Krishna, and there is pure love for Krishna. So those are the steps. How do we increase our faith? So moving forward is practical points. Very, very important. So 9 processes of devotional service. So everything, there is some process. If you want to, do something in life also, even a simplest thing, either be baking or anything like, official documentation and all, you have to submit in a government agency, there is some process to follow. So similarly, in our devotional service also there is some process. There is 9 processes of devotional service, namely hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet, worshipping, offering obeisances, servitorship, friendship, and surrender. So what happens? And there is always thinking of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna, how do we do that? In this Kali Yuga, the chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Nama, Harinameva Kevalam. Kalau Nasteva, Anyatha. So, this way we can remember Krishna always. And what happens is, slowly the purification will happen. And then, since you follow the devotional service, then, you accept a spiritual master as well. And that is the beginning of devotional service. And then you can enter into the mystery of the Lord. So, now we just heard about, there are 2 parts to this verse, devotee and a friend. So now we understood how to become a devotee, how to increase our faith, and what are the processes, how to do. But now the next part comes is the friendship. So there are few things in the world which is as sublime as friendship. One of the things all the poets and philosophers, they will emphasize on the importance of friendship. There is a Greek philosopher, Aristotle, who said once that without friends, no one would choose to live, though he has all the good things in the world. There is another transcendentalist philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Anyone heard of him? He has appreciated the Bhagavad-Gita. If you see the back of the Bhagavad-Gita, Ralph Waldo Emerson has specified something about Bhagavad-Gita. So he says that friendship does not have a survival value, but it adds value to survival. That means there is no point surviving in this world unless there is friendship. So not only philosophers, but we ourselves also, we have experienced friendship. So we go through our whole life dividing our world into friends and enemies. It generally happens on a personal level, on an individual level, and then there is a group level on the society, and there is a national level. Countries regard, one country as friendly countries and another as a rival country. So also we all have experienced, schools and colleges also. There is, Oxford and Cambridge, they are, rival towards colleges also. So friendship is basically, an essence or a foundation of all long-lasting relationships. If you take any relationship in the world, maybe a husband and a wife. If it has to last longer, what is important is a friendship or a mutual trust or collegiality. So that is so important. Even when you see parent and a child, initially parents may be dominant over the children, but later on they become friends. So even at work place also. So everywhere, every relationship in the world, friendship is the key ingredient. So we go through our whole life, dividing our world, searching for actually the true friendship, that place of full satisfaction. Yet the world does not provide us so many opportunities. I'm not sure how many of you must have experienced this. Once upon a time, your elementary school or friends from your 10th grade or someone, and you were once upon a time a best of friends. But after 20-30 years, you moved your way, they moved their way. And that friendship over time sizzles out, right? So same situation happens with marriages also. It happens, there is so much heartbreaks. And likewise, it happens with countries as well. We have seen experiencing this currently. So we go through our whole life dividing, looking for the true friends. That place of friendship where we will never be disappointed. So I just want to ask, I need some suggestions here. What are the qualities you looking forward for a true friend, or what do you expect from a true friend? Any suggestions? Trust, okay. Reliability, yes.
Love.
What else?
Love.
Oh, yes.
Loyalty.
Connecting you. Correcting you, okay. Time, okay. Confidentiality, okay. One more. Respect, okay. So, okay, there is always a mention of man's best friend. Man's best friend is who? A dog, right? So, have you ever wondered why they say man's best friend is dog?
Loyalty.
Yeah. Okay.
Unconditional.
Selfless. 100% loyal. Not expecting anything in return. Except for a little dog food, right? So many qualities, you have all mentioned. But if we see, that relationship is also very, very limited. It will not be completely satisfying because there is no two-way exchange. So, for example, dog owners, they come home and they pour their heart. Whatever happened in their whole day, they will just keep going on. They tell the dog, but the dog does not have the liberty or to express what it was feeling, how boring it was feeling at home. Right? It does not have what diseases it is going through, what emotional distress it is going through. So the same thing happens. It is because it is a one-way relationship here. So that's the problem of relationship in this world. They become unidirectional, one way. And because of that, it leads to dissatisfaction or heartbreak. We expect something from one person. We expect, we do so much for that person. And when we don't get anything back in return, so we feel that we are used or manipulated in that relationship. So that's the problem of relationship in this world, and because it is based on desires, sense satisfaction and personal gain. So the definition of friend and enemy, despite what the high words, all the philosophers may say, when push comes to shove, the friend is the one who helps you in your sense gratification, who gives you what you're looking for. Maybe in assistance in the time of need, maybe flattering words, or maybe comforts in the time of distress. And an enemy, on the other hand, he's the one who comes between me and my sense gratification. I want something, and this person is stopping me, is coming in between. So Prahlad Maharaj usually says, and this we have heard from this Wednesday class also, we divide our world into friends and enemies from Shubh Vilas Prabhuji. And Prahlad Maharaj also mentions that friends and enemies are just the creation of the mind. They just exist here, nothing else. There are no friends and enemies actually in the world. So, but everyone else, everyone, all of us by nature is the eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupahaye Krishnera Nityadas. Everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vamsha Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So in our mind, we divide our into various categories. This side is friends, this side is enemies, and there is a third side who is indifferent completely. We don't care about that. So we create this whole world in our mind, and we deal, our whole life dealing with this, interacting without even realizing the only place where we are struggling is the mind. But nevertheless, we still keep looking for that place of true friendship. All those qualities you all have, described. Until we realize that we have forgotten or lost or missed our actual true friend. And that is Shri Krishna himself. Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad-Gita, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Shruhadam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Rachati. One who is the master of the entire creation. One who knows that Krishna is the enjoyer and the beneficiary of all the sacrifices and austerities. Means everything we do is for his pleasure. And one who is a friend of all living entities. Suruhid. Suruhid. So in Sanskrit, actually, after this verse, actually, what is the end result is he remains peaceful. Peaceful from all the sufferings of this world. That is the meaning of Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam verse. So here in the verse there is a Suruhid. In Sanskrit, we have for friend there is different words we use. We call Mitra. Mitra means an social friend. We call Bandhu. Bandhu means official friend. And Suruhid. If you split the word Suruhid, Su means good and Rid means Hridaya, heart, good heart. Someone who has a good heart, someone who has good intentions for us. He is Suruhid. So, Srila Prabhupada, I remember when, before signing his letters, he always used to have your well-wisher. Ever well-wisher. He used to always write that. Because he always had good intentions for us. Because he is a representative of Krishna. And just as Krishna himself has good intentions for us. So we keep searching for this friendship until we find in Krishna. No one in the world can match the friendship that is offered by Krishna. We often say, the friend is the one who stays until the end of your life. A friend in need is a friend indeed. If you look at Krishna, who can represent him best, better than he can? We are just like rebellious children. Millions of lifetime ago, we have left Krishna's abode. And the reason why we have left Krishna is because we wanted Krishna's position. We wanted to reserve his position. But we don't want to see Krishna at the center of the rasa dance. We want to see ourselves at the center. We don't want to, why Krishna is a Purusha? Why not I am the Purusha? Because we are envious of Krishna. And what does Krishna say? What does Krishna do? He says, okay, you can do that, but he does not kick us away. He does not say, how dare you, you want my position, how dare, you can do that. But instead he says, don't worry, don't worry child. You want to enjoy? You want to be at the center? I'll create this whole material world where you can enjoy and be at the center. So in short, if we see, like analyze, this whole material world is meant for people who hate Krishna. So how many of us must have done something very, very, very wonderful for people who hate us? If you have a colleague in your workplace and who is very, very envious of you, would you give your position to him? Or would you make any position available, open a new position in your company and get him hired? No, right? Why? Because he's envious of you. But Krishna does not do that. So, what is next Krishna is actually doing? Okay, so here is, so not only Krishna creates this material world for us, and provides us with all the facilities, despite we never asked for. He's providing all the time. Next, he sends us to this world. And what does he do then? He did not say, you live or die, I don't care. He says, you want to enjoy? Okay, you be there and I will be there with you always, helping you, providing for you. There is a verse in Bhagavad-Gita, Upadreshtanu mantascha bharata bhokta maheshwara paramatmeti chapukto dehesmin purushapara. He's looking, he's seeing, making sure everything is okay. Anumantascha, he's do whatever you like. Bharata, he's giving whatever you want. Suppose you have a friend who is in need of help and you go to help him. And you offer many things you have. Whatever, and that person is very, very poor. They cannot repay you back at all. So what is the least you will expect from him? What is the least thing you will expect from him?
Grateful.
Yeah, grateful. Okay, at least. Okay, at least they should recognize you. At least they should say at least thank you to you because you are doing such a great favor on them. But Krishna does something very, very amazing here. Krishna not only creates this whole material universe, not only makes sure that we are the controllers, not only stays with us life after life, but he makes sure that he himself remains invisible, so that we may think that we are the controllers always. So in short, he is demanding no recognition at all. Imagine what Krishna has to go through, not only in the human form of life, but lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. In the body of a pig, in a body of a dog, in a body of a snake, in a body of a human being, in a body of a pauper, in a body of a king, in a body of a cockroach also, how filthy, how dirty it may be. So here, what does Krishna has the need? He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He can stay, in opulence. But what is the need? Because he cares for us. And he is supplying also. The cockroach also doesn't get the cockroach food. He gets that intelligence. So what is the need if you imagine? So that's what we call a true friend. And what do we give him in return for that? Is nothing but completely ignoring him. We are very, very ungrateful to Krishna. All he is expecting from us is a little acknowledgement that one day we may say that Krishna, actually you are helping me. Prabhupada gives a very wonderful example of two birds in a tree. One bird is eating the fruits or enjoying the fruits, and another one is just witnessing. So Krishna is just like that. He's witnessing and he is waiting waiting for some time that this bird is going to look at me and acknowledge. So we all have experienced, this telemarketing calls in our life. I think every one of you must be getting. And what happens? They keep calling you. And when you say not interested, that's all. They'll stop. Even likewise, for example, a relationship also. For example, a long distance friend you have. You will call, call, for example, once upon a time, very good friends, in the small, usually people connect after a long time. Whenever, there is the groups on the Facebook or WhatsApp, there is a whole group of school group is there. So similarly, the same thing. If you keep calling a person and the person is not picking up the phone, or ignoring you, what you will do is once, twice, thrice, how much you can, reach out to him. And one fine day, what will happen if they are completely ignoring you? That's all. You just put the phone down and he will stop calling you. But Krishna has been calling lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to all of us over and over again. He's been reminding us of him. So in what way Krishna calls us? Any suggestions?
Senses, pure devotee.
Senses, that is a clear phone call. Yeah.
Shastra.
Okay, Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes.
Himself. Becomes himself.
He comes as avatars. Yes. What else?
Shastra.
Reminds of himself. Okay. Book distribution. That can be one. Rath Yatra festivals. He reminds of himself. Yeah. Prashadam. That is a very simplest phone call to make. And what else? Sorry? Huh?
Enemies also, two enemies.
Enemies, okay. Yeah, that is a difficult phone call, to receive. So, Prabhu.
The holy name.
Holy name, yeah. The temples, the Bhakti Vriksha programs. So, like Prabhupada says, temples are the embassies of the spiritual world. So, these are the ways Krishna calls us. And what we do in return is, we put the phone down on him. Every time. But Krishna never ever gives up. And that is what a true friend means. Usually there are so many people in the world, they want to be friend of everyone. And just because it is just actually Maya actually. Because they want to be, the center of attraction of a group. And they want to be very, very friend to everyone. It is just because of some cheap popularity or something. How many best friends we all can have? Just one, right? How many people we can give attention to at a time? Just one. If at all, okay, our husband wants attention, the wife is there. Or children wants attention, one person. You cannot stretch yourself. Even if you stretch yourself, after some time you may get tired. But Krishna, on the other hand, is 100% present with each and every one of you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Ujachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. 100% available. And like if we see the pastimes of Krishna, in the Dwarka, Krishna had 16,108 wives. How much was Krishna, did Krishna divide himself, one 16,000 part? No, because only Krishna gave 100% to each one of them. Similarly in the Rasa dance also, with the gopis, he was 100% available. And even with the Gopas used to say that, oh Krishna, like I'm so, so fallen, so small. But somehow you think of me as my best friend. Why do I deserve to be your best friend? So every cowherd boy feels that Krishna is his best friend. So if we make Krishna our friend, so we will never ever be let down in this world. For anything. We can become 100% fearless. And everything, in everything whatever you do. And the finest example is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who despite suffering 2 heart attacks, he preached the Krishna consciousness to the best, and that too in that age. So what are the practical notes of experiencing Krishna as our friend? Srila Prabhupada says that, okay, Krishna is the friend to all living entities, but there is one other friend also, who is the friend to everyone. Because he leads us to our true friend, and that is the spiritual master, the Guru. Most of us are initiated here, and there are so many aspiring, aspiring for taking initiation also, you all will have, personal relationship with the spiritual master. And this, you can feel Krishna's friendship actually. And because the spiritual master knows what is actually best for us, he guides you through your most difficult times. If you see recently this war which happened, I know Niranjan Swami Maharaj has been like constantly in touch with devotees, with all his disciples, and providing during this war time food, financial assistance, shelter, everything. So not only in these war times, but actually in our day-to-day life also, the spiritual master plays such a vital role. He helps us, guides us, what will be the best for us. He gives us instructions. And it will not be a difficult instruction which will be there, because Prabhupada always mentioned this. Within the instruction is the strength, the potency to follow that instruction. So we can feel Krishna's friendship here. We can feel Krishna's friendship so closely in the role of a spiritual master. We can also feel Krishna's friendship when we engage in the preaching activities. Prabhupada writes in the Nectar of Devotion is, preacher is Krishna's Ruhit, who is in the mood of friendship towards Krishna. Because the preacher he is going to people who have actually ignored Krishna, and he reminds them of Krishna. And he works just like an operator in between. In the ancient times, we have to make an international phone call. There is an operator who used to connect the lines. So the preacher acts the same way. He works like an operator, connecting Krishna's message to the other person. So when the person becomes Krishna's, gives Krishna's message to others. So not only he becomes a friend of Krishna, but he becomes a friend to the other person also, to whom he is giving the book. So it is both direction. Now we all know, we are all taking Krishna's phone call. It is okay. It is okay, at least we are receiving, we are following instructions. But, we are considering Krishna as our friend, as in this verse it is mentioned. But the other point is to think is, should Krishna also consider our friend, right? Friendship is a two-way exchange. It is not like, okay, I consider Krishna as friend, but Krishna should also consider me as his friend. So when you preach the message of the Lord, then Krishna becomes so grateful. When you bring someone from when you go for book distribution or Bhakti Vriksha or anywhere, and you bring the person to the temple and you say that Krishna, this person is yours. Take care of this person. Krishna is so grateful to us. And that way we become Krishna's friend. So every time the living entity rejects Krishna, Krishna is personally hurt, because he has that relationship, individual relationship with each and every one of them, all living entities. It is not like he hates. So that is the mood of a devotee. And so Ashwadama, there is a mention in the Nectar of Devotion that Ashwadama, when he was shooting arrows at Krishna, actually as per the rules of the battlefield, the Sarathi or the charioteer should not be attacked. But Ashwadama was actually attacking Krishna with arrows. Arjuna, when he saw Krishna being hurt, he just went and stood in front of him. And what happened, and all those arrows were actually piercing on Arjuna. But Krishna was actually feeling that it felt like not painful, but it was like showers of flower. And he felt that ecstasy, the bliss, and the love for Krishna. And it increased his love more and more for Krishna. So we can also feel the same ecstasy also in Krishna consciousness, when we preach the message, when we preach Krishna consciousness. In any way, every one of us here has some ability. Krishna has given some special ability. We can do in so many ways. And Prabhupada has given us, the disciples of Prabhupada has given us all the resources, whatever is needed. He has given us a complete package. Just we need to uncover it and start doing that. That's the whole thing. So the goal of our life should be to recognize Krishna's friendship, to make Krishna as our friend, and to become Krishna's friend also. So when we have that relationship, it will be so satisfying that life will become one wave of happiness after another. All other relationship also, okay, we have a relationship with Krishna, but all other relationship will also be very, very substantial and meaningful to us when we consider Krishna as our friend and do something for him. We become his well-wisher. So finally, to conclude, is these some of the quotes that's about faith. What we heard earlier is faith and prayers both are invisible, but they make impossible things possible. And lastly, it's very, very special verses. If one makes friendship with Krishna, one will never be cheated and he will get all the help needed. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna.
Anyone have any questions? Or
Any
comments?
questions or comments? Yes, Prabhuji.
In fact, you gave a wonderful class. It's not surprising to me, as I've had the good fortune of your association now for several weeks. And as you know from me being there, once I get started, I can't stop. So I have a lot of questions. That's the problem with a very good class. But first, I'll make a comment, because you gave a nice example of when Arjuna stood in front of Krishna during the battlefield. So we see the reciprocal nature of friendship on the battlefield, because when Bhishma was about to kill Arjuna, Krishna got in the front and he stopped him. So the reciprocal nature of friendship. So my first question, now, let's see, it's 7:30, so maybe till about midnight I had questions. So my first question is, you were explaining how Krishna, out of his kindness, creates a material world where we could fulfill our desires to try to be the center. But it seems to me that that's not exactly the way it is. Because, here I am, I want to enjoy hamburgers. Okay, I don't want to have to suffer as many births as the hairs on the cow for participating in the killing of the cow. So he hasn't it seems to me, he hasn't exactly created a world where I can just, do what I want and fulfill my desires. I'm going to get it and get it bad for my attempt. So how do we understand that?
So what I understand from this question is, you say that, okay, I want to enjoy, but you will get the reactions of those, correct? The karmic reactions.
And so it seems like it's not that Krishna just created a material world to let me fulfill my desires, to be the center and enjoy, because every time I try to be the center and enjoy, smack, that's what happens to me.
So that's the nature of your material world, Prabhuji. Like, you whatever you do, you will get something back in return. The reactions, you will get it back. What are you expecting? What answer you are expecting from me?
No, I'm expecting, yeah, you can go take prasad. But what came to my mind is that it's that story that when Prabhupada's one of his young sons kept wanting to put his finger in the fan. So, and Prabhupada kept stopping, and then Prabhupada's son said, slow down the fan, let him do it.
Right.
So we want to enjoy, and that's just not our nature, to be the center. So Krishna gives us a format for trying to enjoy, and at the same time, he makes sure that, here's a reaction so we can learn our lesson and understand, hey, wait, I'm not the enjoy, and I'm still waiting to learn that lesson. But at least Krishna's created the material world, not simply to give us a chance to enjoy, but through the system, the mechanistic system of karma, that we can eventually learn our lesson. So that's what the thoughts that came to my mind by your very nice class.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Now, can I tie everybody else's hands down and keep going? No.
Anyway, let's see.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very nice class.
Yes.
One comment, Madhavi.
Mhm.
The comment is you mentioned about what we can give in return to Krishna, because he is the one who is making sure that we are getting what we need. The comment is like Krishna is expecting us love from us, and he has given us ability to love him. So I think the only thing we can do is give back, go back to him with love, and he will take care of everything.
Yeah.
So that's just a comment, Madhavi. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Rukmavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Very wonderful class.
Thank you.
मैं हिंदी में बोलती हूँ, आप इंग्लिश में बोल दीजिएगा. जैसे आपने बोला कि ना हमें एंजॉय करना था इसलिए यहाँ आ गए, तो मतलब अभी कृष्णा वेट कर रहे हैं, हम सबका वेट कर रहे हैं. मतलब 100% ही श्योर कि आएंगे वापस मेरे पास. लेकिन आप सबसे अच्छा वो बताइए कि हम कैसे क्या करें कि 100% हम भी सरेंडर हो जाएं और कृष्णा सैंक्शन कर दे कि अब तुम आ सकते हो मेरे पास.
Okay. So everyone got the question, right? Okay.
Not those who weren't.
Oh, okay. So, Krishna is waiting for us, and what should we do to get back to him? That's the question. Yes? Happy? Okay. All right.
प्लीज जैसे आधा माइंड एनिमी भी ना हो और फ्रेंड भी ना, टोटली सरेंडर्ड फ्रेंड बन के ऐसे जाए.
Okay. Yeah. So only, best thing what all can do, follow your spiritual master's instruction. That's all. You have everything, every day in your mind. If you have that, that's all. That's needed. If you, whatever the personal instructions have been given by your spiritual master, just 100% with faith do that. Because over a period of time, gradually everything, and chanting is a very, very important thing. That's why Prabhupada emphasized, Prabhupada has been very, very merciful to all of us in this Kali Yuga actually. 64 rounds to 16 rounds. He has given us, and 2 hours. And if we consistently, sincerely do it, that's all. And regulative principles are there, but the instructions of the spiritual master, if we keep that in mind, that's all. We just walk in that direction. There may be, definitely will be hurdles, there will be criticisms, there will be enemies, friends, but our goal is not to stay here. Make that clear in our mind. If we want Krishna, we have to just bypass these things. These are very, very petty things. But the goal is higher. If we have a higher goal, then even in our material life also, right? There are so many people criticize or in office or anything. If you have to get a promotion somehow or other, you will get it. But with your hard work, with your sincerity, you don't think about that other person. So better than friends and enemies. Enemies wise, what I would say is, if you think of or keep all grudges also, you are just holding a charcoal in your hand, hot charcoal, and you are burning yourself. So better just leave all these things, have a goal, and just walk towards that. That's it. That will be the best thing to do, because we don't want to come lifetime after lifetime and learn ABCD again and go through this whole cycle of birth, old age, disease, death. We all go through this and we realize somehow or other. But don't take everything, especially our spiritual life, for granted. We just work towards it, have a goal, that's all, and follow your whatever personal instructions is given sincerely. That's all. Make important that to make spiritual master happy. That should be my goal. That's all. Anyone else? Yeah, Dhananjay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
First of all, yours was a very good presentation. Thank you. Very well prepared. Quick question. In Krishna creating this universe, was it created in a sense to reward us, to punish us, or to give us opportunities to do other things?
Yeah, it is not like he wants to punish us. It would be an opportunity to, enjoy. You want to be a controller, you go. You can go and, enjoy and be the controller there. That was the main purpose. And when you realize it here, okay, you are going through so much of miseries, then you realize, okay, Krishna, we want to go back to Krishna. That's the thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Very nice class, wonderfully explained. So I have a question, like two scenarios we have, right? One is Shabri from Treta Yuga, where she served a spiritual master, Matanga Muni, and her spiritual master, like she served so with all her heart that he gave the blessing that one day Lord Ram will come and give her darshan. Okay, and on the other side we have Sudama, and he went through so much of struggle, right? And then at one point, like after being told by his wife that go to Krishna, he went there for help. Although he did not wanted to take help from Krishna, right? So I understand, okay, because Shabri served a spiritual master so well that he gave her the blessing, and Lord Ram gave the darshan. Now, like it's very difficult, and it's very few devotees where Lord will come. Like one was Dhruv Maharaj, where he came in Vishnu form and gave darshan. So, what are the qualities that Shabri had, which distinguishes, like from, okay, Lord decides, okay, I would give her the darshan, and Lord, some other devotees, like they struggle and some get the darshan of the Lord. What qualities one should have, or you can say the other way, what qualities she obeyed the instruction, what other qualities she had, like she got the darshan of Lord Ram.
I don't know much about Shabri's pastime, but I have not read Ramayana completely. But what I know was she served her, like her spiritual master actually told her that you have to wait for Lord Ramchandra to come, and how much ever time it may take, but she had faith in the words of spiritual master.
Yeah, so that is what I was looking for. That
Faith is very important. Yeah.
So, yeah. So
That means even when we surrender to our spiritual master also, that is with faith. That becomes complete surrender.
Correct. Yeah. So that is what I was expecting, the same answer.
You have the answers.
No, actually, normally when we serve someone, right?
Even Krishna, when we serve Krishna or we serve spiritual master, it is not, some of them like elevated devotees, they have 100% faith. Like some of us, they don't have complete faith, wherein that's why we don't get the darshan of the Lord. Like, okay, we saw Shabri, she had faith. At the same time, if you will look at the other devotees, was Narsimha Mehta. He had complete faith, and Lord used to be available for him every time whenever he was needed. He needed him. So faith was the thing. So.
Yeah, and Krishna will not come as per your, when you call him. Krishna calls Dhruv Maharaj story, 6 months. So much of austerities. And Krishna actually came. So Krishna will come according to his time. He will protect according to his time. But not our time. He is not our order supplier. That we have to remember. Krishna will come, but we have to give our 100% effort. In Damodarashtakam also you see, right? Effort and mercy. Side by side. Effort, you do our effort, give 100% to your chanting, to your association, your reading books, whatever the instructions your spiritual master has given you. Do it, that's all. Give your 100%, the rest of the things will follow. Let the rest be Krishna. Results are up to Krishna's hand, right? Like we say. You do our effort. So give your effort. And Krishna will definitely come. Like in the Garud Purana, I don't know, I heard this in some of the lecture that even though you may forget Krishna, but Krishna remembers and he will speak his name in your ears at the time of going back. So he will remind because he sees the effort. Bhakti is not like today I do 16 rounds, tomorrow I don't do anything, and another day I do this thing. Bhakti is consistency. Every day consistency with discipline.
Yeah, we see, right? Even in Kali Yuga, Lord appears in front of special devotees, right? Where there is faith and there is surrender with conviction.
So yeah, that is what we lack. I mean, I lack basically. So that was.
Yeah, just try. Krishna sees the consistency, and how much, how many good quality of rounds you chanted. Nothing, he does not see that, but he sees your consistency always. How much consistent, and he has his, account book. How many rounds this person has done and all these things. So don't worry much. Like our moment is a very happy moment. Like there is sukham kartum avyayam, right? That's the verse. It's joyful. Don't de-stress. Just joyfully do. So, all right.
Can I follow? Nobody's smart enough to take my mouth. Can I follow up on this question of
Pravidi, you want to make this my last class? Or?
On the question of, so you were saying that we have to have complete faith in what Krishna says.
Yes.
So unlike all the advanced devotees here, I took birth in the West, and I grew up Krishna, and didn't even know the word Krishna. Not only that, because atheism was so prominent, God. So how can I, who's starting to take up the process of Krishna consciousness, have complete faith in what Krishna says? And then I see Prabhupada says, no blind following. So here I am, I don't know anything about Krishna, and you're telling me I should blindly follow everything he says? So how can we adjust that, especially for fallen people like me who don't have that kind of inherent faith in Krishna? Prabhupada said, if you scratch in India and you find a devotee, I'm not in India, so you scratch in India, no devotee. So how can someone like me who doesn't have that kind of immediate faith have faith in everything Krishna says?
Just follow the process, everything will be revealed. And that is the best answer I can give right now.
You are so fortunate, we don't have to scratch you, you are devotee. Doesn't matter where.
I go to you as a doctor, so you'll scratch me.
We don't have to scratch you.
Okay, I think we went over time. Apologies for that. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagavad-Gita, for this wonderful class.